Imagine a human tide, millions strong, surging across the Atlantic, not of their own volition, but as the unwilling pawns of avarice and power. This is the transatlantic slave trade at its brutal height, where fortunes were built on human bondage and lives were crushed like reeds in a hurricane. But amidst the darkness, flickers of resistance ignite, sparking a long and arduous struggle for liberty. Welcome to Part 2, Peak of the Trade, a deluge of human suffering. The 18th century witnesses the zenith of the slave trade. Britain, France, Spain, Portugal, and the Netherlands compete for dominance, transporting an estimated 12 million Africans across the ocean. Sugar, tobacco, and cotton plantations in the Americas flourish on the backs of enslaved labor, painting a landscape stained with human exploitation. Quantifying the unquantifiable, percentages of pain, while the overall human cost is incalculable, the distribution of suffering can be glimpsed through percentages. Britain, driven by colonial ambitions and ruthless efficiency, transported roughly 3.4 million Africans, accounting for nearly 30% of the total trade. Portugal, fueled by its early dominance, stands at roughly 40%, while France and Spain followed with 10% and 9% respectively. These figures are mere statistics, masking the unfathomable human tragedy behind each number. Kings and queens in the labyrinth. The role of African leadership in the trade remains a tangled web of complicity and resistance. While some leaders like Nzinga Mbande initially engaged in slave trading to strengthen their kingdoms, others, like Gezo of Dahomey, actively fueled the system for personal gain. Understanding the complex political and economic pressures these monarchs faced adds nuance to the narrative, but never excuses their participation in this inhumane system. Voices from the chains, bearing witness to the unbearable. Olaudah Equiano, Mary Prince, and countless others risked their lives to document the horrors of the trade and slavery through their narratives. These first-hand accounts offer visceral glimpses into the physical and psychological trauma inflicted on enslaved people, shattering any romanticized notions of this historical period. Abolitionist uprisings, breaking the chains. The seeds of resistance sown in the 18th century blossom in the 19th. Slave revolts like the Haitian Revolution, led by the indomitable Toussaint Louverture, challenged the very foundations of the system. In Britain, William Wilberforce spearheads the abolitionist movement, culminating in the Slave Trade Act of 1807, a legal blow to the trade, yet not its immediate death knell. Lincoln's dilemma, a war within a war. While often portrayed as a staunch abolitionist, Abraham Lincoln's stance on slavery was initially more pragmatic than idealistic. He famously stated that he would have preserved the Union even if it meant keeping slavery intact. This complex position reflects the political realities of the Civil War, where abolishing slavery became a strategic necessity to weaken the Confederacy. Ultimately, Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation of 1863 marked a turning point, freeing enslaved people in Confederate territories and paving the way for the 13th Amendment, officially abolishing slavery nationwide in 1865. The transatlantic slave trade, a sprawling system of human exploitation that spanned centuries and oceans, has finally met its demise. Yet its legacy echoes in the inequalities and racial injustices that continue to plague our world. The scars of slavery remain deeply etched in the societies it touched, demanding a sustained effort at reconciliation and a continued fight for true equality. As we navigate the shadows of this dark chapter in history, let us remember the resilience of those who endured, the heroes who fought back, and the ongoing struggle for a world where the shackles of oppression are shattered and the spirit of freedom reigns supreme. If you enjoyed watching this video, Make sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to always stay updated on our next videos.